Howdy gamers, old gamer guy here. I said I would make another Meet Your Maker video once I built an outpost and got some kills, and that has happened. So that's mainly what this video is going to be, but also as a quote-unquote bonus, I'm going to go ahead and go through this champion outpost right here. I had this in one of my earlier videos, and I decided to go ahead and take it out. If you would like to skip past all of this, you can skip to 4 minutes and 47 seconds. But first, here are all my deaths. So you might want to watch at least my deaths, because that's kind of entertaining, right? Even if you don't want to watch me go all the way. Oh, that was stupid. That was really dumb right there. How embarrassing. This one's not quite so embarrassing, but still kind of embarrassing. Yeah, that's embarrassing, really. What kind of a raider am I? Oh, but that looked like genius compared to this. I almost always regress a little bit before I actually conquer an outpost, and that's what happened here. So this is my successful run. Apologies for my slow gameplay here, but I had to preserve this footage because it was my first champion outpost. It's really not even that difficult in hindsight, but it's my first champion outpost, so I wanted to preserve it for posterity. So I'm going to shut up and let this play. Skip to 4 minutes and 47 seconds now if you don't want to watch all this. All right, good times. I have conquered my first champion outpost. I assume these outposts become champions when they kill enough players, but maybe that's too simplistic. I don't know. But yeah, maybe one of my outposts could possibly be a champion outpost one day. It's hard to say. It's not likely, really, but it could happen. And so these champion outposts give you XP for all of your advisors, whereas if you just go down the list and do one of the normal outposts, you will just get XP for one particular advisor for each outpost. But I got some good XP here, and then I decided to go ahead and go through a few more outposts. I wanted to level up my advisors all to level 3 before I actually built anything. I'm not sure that was something I needed to do, but I decided to do it anyway. So now all of them are level 3. One of them is almost level 4. But now we're going to go to my outpost here. We're going to go to the build menu, and we're going to start work on this. This has a maximum capacity of 750, which I believe is the lowest. I might be wrong about that. But here we are. You can see the controls over there in the upper left. If you hold L2, you can bring up some more controls over there. You can see the outpost has a capacity of 52 out of 750 already. So there are some blocks in here to begin with that can be deleted, but a lot of this stuff cannot be deleted. So there are certain things about the outpost you cannot change. These blocks cannot be deleted, but this one can. By default, the harvester robot has a nice easy path over here to the gen mat machine. I'm sure that has an official name that I can't remember right now. Double tapping X will take you in and out of a flight mode, so you can get a bird's eye view of your outpost, or you can kind of fly down into the depths like I'm doing here, and you can kind of plan how you want your harvester robot to proceed. Sometimes people make outposts with twisting paths and lots of traps, and sometimes people just leave that default easy path. So it's up to you. And then you can go into your build menu, and we have blocks and traps and guards and decals and props. And then the last part of the menu has everything organized into packs, which are like themes. So you have a Dead by Daylight theme, and there's I think one called Lost City. So I guess if you want your outpost to have a certain visual theme, you could stick with Industrial Ruins number 2 right there, or you can mix and match, whatever. Only the blocks and the traps and the guards take up your capacity. The decals and the props do not. The props are basically just fancy decals, I guess. But you can change the shape of the block that you're trying to place, and then you can rotate it. All this is really easily done. You can tell that I'm slowly getting used to the controls here, but as things move along, I get better at this. But you can see that I am diverting my harvester down into the this cave area, and I worked on this for a long time, actually, over a couple of days. At one point I had an entryway here in the front, and the harvester would go down this path past these windows here where you could see the gen mat through there, but the harvester would go down through here. Those are props on the wall, those lights and those vents that are making noise. So yeah, they're basically fancy decals, but this is the design I ended up with here. So if this looks familiar, you may have played my outpost without realizing it. And then when you're happy with it, you can set it to active or overdrive or social. and that will make it available for other players to interact with. So I set mine to active and I logged out for the day, and the next day I logged back into the game and found that there had been some activity at my outpost.
Your outpost kills another. This is how we save the world, one death at a time. There is not enough GenMat in this world. Our only hope is to fight for it.
You really should try to mellow out a little bit, Chimera buddy. I mean, I know we're doing some good work here, but you really need to mellow out. You're a bit uptight. But I'm getting some good rewards for this whole transaction here. We got some various types of currency that can be used to unlock guards and mods and traps and upgrade our suit, upgrade our weaponry. I can hit triangle to bring up some build results on the outpost, and then hit triangle again for more details, but we don't see any deaths in these numbers here, and that is what I'm really interested in. So let's check out, first let's check out the command center and go over to the build menu, and there it is. So my my outpost has been depleted. I am no longer getting any rewards, but we also got some kills. I'm not sure what prestige means. Maybe that is maybe that's the process that turns your outpost into a champion outpost. These are all the people who raided my outpost, and we're going to watch that one successful raid, the first one, the very first person who raided my outpost was successful. But first we're going to look at all the deaths because I enjoy that part. So you can see I set up some guards in here, and I have kind of a cavern underneath the machinery. We have several different guard types here, and I was basically trying to set up a situation where the player would have to play this more like a traditional first-person shooter in certain ways. Here's a person dying to some of my traps here. So here is the very first person who went through my outpost. Actually, the first three people who attempted my outpost were able to get through this without dying at all. So that's disappointing. But as you saw, we did get some kills here. But this was the very first raid on my outpost here, and this guy, he did go through here without dying. So props to I forget the name. Oh, Wesku7. Yeah, props to you. Damn you. But you can see that he's having to jump around and maneuver around like you would with a more traditional first-person shooter. If you watch the way I play, I'm much more slow and methodical and paranoid. You can see that there is also a third-person camera that you can kind of fly around. But it's sort of hard to keep up with what's going to happen next. So the rest of this is just going to be in the first-person mode. You can see the controls there at the top of the screen. You can also remove those controls, but I have them on display here during this guy's run. You can see where I had some other guards set up here, and I think he almost died right there, but he did manage to get through. I thought I had set my traps up to be very deadly, but you can see there's a delay for the trap to actually detect you and then go off. So it's not hard to run past a lot of these traps, but I feel like I have learned a lesson or two in the placement of my traps, and so I feel like my next outpost will probably get more victims, which is my main objective. But now we might as well destroy this outpost here. by holding triangle, and then we will get a few more resources for that. And now we can claim another outpost. So yeah, it looks like 750 is the smallest capacity, and 3500 is the biggest capacity on this screen anyway. So I'm going to go for this 3500 capacity one here, Rosemount. But because I've been raiding and getting rewards, I already have enough currency to get that purchased. And so now we can check it out. And you can see right away that this site here is larger than the other one. And again, we have a pathway by default for the harvester going over here, and this one has this capacity is 185 out of 3500. Each block takes up one capacity. The guards and the traps take up quite a bit more. So you can go around and you can delete these individually if you wish. That's what I was doing at first because I didn't realize there was another way to go about this. But if you go into the build menu by pressing the touchpad and then you hold triangle, you can strip the outpost of every extra block. Now the capacity is 0, and now the harvester has no path. So we can start with a clean slate, and once again we could make a very direct path for the harvester, or we could make it wind around and force the player to maneuver around and potentially go past a number of traps. So I'm going to do that same thing again this time. I think I don't know. I may try the exact same sort of build, or I might make one where traps are much more an issue here. I was dealing with the low capacity on that other site, which is why I ended up making it the way I did. But with this one, I will have a lot more room to place a lot more traps. So yeah, I'm still enjoying this. It's quite repetitive if you try to sit and play it for a long time, but in short doses, I think this is a lot of fun. It might be a while before I make another video for this, so I hope you have enjoyed this one. For now, as always, thank you very much for watching.